Hello World, huh? Shake the Dust by Anis Moshkiani. This is for the fat girls. This is for the little brothers. This is for the schoolyard wimps and the childhood bullies that tormented them. For the former prom queen and for the milk crate ball players. For the nighttime cereal eaters. And this is for the retired elderly Walmart store front door greeters. Shake the dust. This is for the benches and the people sitting upon them, for the bus drivers who drive a million broken hymns, for the men who have to hold down 3 jobs simply to hold up their children, for the nighttime schoolers and for the midnight bikers who were trying to fly, shake the dust. This is for the 2-year-olds who cannot be understood because they speak half English and half God, shake the dust. For the boys with the beautiful sisters, shake the dust. For the girls with the brothers who are going crazy, for those gym class wallflowers and the 12-year-olds afraid of taking public showers, for the kid who is always late to class because he forgets the combination to his locker, for the girl who loves somebody else, shake the dust. This is for the hard men who want to love but know that it won't come, for the ones who are forgotten, the ones who the amendments do not stand up for the ones who are told to speak only when they are spoken to, and then are never spoken to. Speak every time you stand so you do not forget yourself. Do not let one moment go by that doesn't remind you that your heart, it beats 900 times every single day. And there are enough gallons of blood to make every one of you oceans. Do not settle for letting these waves that settle and for the dust to collect on your veins. This is for the celibate pedophile who keeps on struggling, for the poetry teachers and for the people who go on vacation alone. For the sweat that drips off Mick Jagger's singing lips, and for the shaking skirt on Tina Turner's shaking hips, and for the heavens and for the hells through which Tina has lived. This is for the tired and for the dreamers, for families that want to be like the Cleavers with perfectly made dinners and songs like Wally and the Beaver. This is for the bigots, for the sexists, and for the killers, and for the big house pen sittings cats becoming's redeemers. And for the springtime that somehow seems to show up right after every single winter. This is for every one of you. Make sure by the time the fisherman returns, you are gone. Because just like the days, I burn at both ends. And every time I write, every time I open my eyes, I'm cutting out parts of myself simply to hand them over to you. So shake the dust and take me with you when you do, for none of this has ever been for me. All that pushes and pulls and pushes and pulls and pushes and pulls, it pushes for you. So grab this world by its clothespins and shake it out again and again, and jump on top and take it for a spin, and when you hop off, shake it again. For this is yours, this is yours. Make my words worth it. Not just some poem, just another night that sits heavy above us all. Walk into it, breathe it in. Let it crash through the halls of your arms, like the millions of years of millions of poets, coursing like blood, pumping and pushing, making you live, shaking the dust. So when the world knocks at your front door, clutch the knob tightly and open on up, and run forward and far into its widespread greeting arms, with your hands outstretched before you, fingertips trembling though they may be. That's Shake the Dust by Anis Moshkiani. I like to start off with that. I think that it's a very, very well put together set of words there. It's challenging to say, but it has a good meaning. It's tough to say and pronunciate, so it's good practice to learn how to speak better. But anyway, that's Shake the Dust. I encourage you to go out and watch him recite it, because he does it much, much better. And he does it without reading it, which is incredibly impressive. I tried to learn it. I tried to practice it and learn it, and I was going to go to an open mic somewhere and try to recite it, but it's tough. I only got through the first 2 paragraphs, maybe a little bit into the 3rd down, and I still had 2 very long paragraphs and then 2 smaller ones. Yeah. But anyway, feels like everybody's just waiting for something, right? I hate to be last week in church. The pastor started off with a clip of Debbie Downer from Saturday Night Live with Lindsay Lohan and all them. So I hate to be Debbie Downer, but man, it just feels like everybody's on the cusp, or on like the Everybody's anxious about something. They're overworked, overtired. It feels like, yeah, it's hard to step back and see what's going on, and it's hard to believe things at surface level, and you don't know. It's just a lot, and yes, you can choose to. I saw something on Twitter the other day where somebody gave up his smartphone. He went back to a flip phone where he can basically just call and text and not do much on it. And he said it's crazy. Everywhere he goes, he says not just kids that are on their phones. He's like, everybody is on their phone, and it's not funny at all. It's very sad commentary on public life, at least in America. I don't know if it's like that around the world, but man, it's tough. Like, I'm in no way saying I want this, I wish this, or I hope this, or anything, but I was having a conversation with somebody the other day, and it's a long story, but we got in a hypothetical of, if you didn't have like deep roots and ties to the United States, and don't get me wrong, I love the United States. I'm very blessed to be an American, to be born here, to be, especially in the part of the country, and you zoom it down. I'm trying to teach my daughter counties. I don't know why she can't grasp it. The counties are on our license plates, and she was asking me about those. And there's one county Warren County, that's notoriously bad drivers, and it's true. My great grandma told me this, and my grandma and my mom, they still laugh about it today. But Warren County drivers are the worst drivers in the world. It's unbelievable, and it makes sense because you learn to drive from your parents or your older brother or sister, your aunt, uncle, whoever you're living with, whoever you're staying with, that's who's teaching you to drive. So you're picking up their habits. So it makes sense why Warren County drivers through all this time are the worst, hands down, drivers in the world. And a very close second is Somalian women. Who is issuing them licenses? Because I'm in my 40s now. I'm not sure if at some point, I don't know the rules. I don't know if I'm good to write it out from here on out, but I feel at some point, it's maybe 70s, 65, I don't know. You have to take a driving test to prove you're competent enough to, you got it together enough where you can make trips to the grocery store and this and that, right? Get across town. Who's giving them a license? Who's approving? They're like, yeah, this person, we just went on a driving test, and yeah, let's get them on the road. Nobody's in danger. There's no increased risk with this lady getting on the road here in about half hour. And I'm not, it's just an observation. I'm not trying to be mean. Like, sometimes I can be a terrible driver too, but I feel like on the most part I'm a pretty damn good driver. I'm very efficient. That's one of the weird things I can do, is I can get, if I go from point A to point B one time in my life, I can get there again without any directions or anything. And if I do it like 5 or more times, I'm going to have the most efficient route there without a doubt. That's all I'm good at. And at the end of the day, it saves like 35 seconds from the regular route, right? So it's not even that big of a deal. I just like making efficient routes when I'm driving. It's a weird thing, weird quirk, but nonetheless, got what the fuck I was talking about. Driving. They should not be on the road. I'm telling you that. Like, people are in danger with Warren County drivers and Somalian women on the roads. But what I was talking about is, like, I'm very blessed to be in the community, the neighborhood, the school district, the county, the state, the region, the country. I'm very blessed, and I understand that, and to be making a YouTube video about what I have to say, like it means something, or people should listen to it, or this and that, right? I'm just a bozo out there in the ether, right? I got something to say. It's pouring, raining outside, and if I can make some scratch, even if it's $11 a month for an hour and a half of talking on this thing, I'll do it, right? It's either this or talking to my dog Reggie right now, but he's taking a nap, so here we are. I'm well aware that everything I have to say is probably just take it with a grain of salt, because I'm an idiot, hard-headed and stubborn, and think I know a lot about a lot of things, and really I don't. But that's the disclaimer, I suppose. I'm saying allegedly. These are all my opinions, in my opinion. It's crazy that you have to say that now, because people will sue you for anything, or they'll hold it against you. It's like it's just words, right? I'm allowed to talk. I'm allowed to express my opinion. You don't have to listen. There's a gazillion other videos on YouTube alone to go watch, and there's infinite amount of websites out there, whatever. You're probably gonna scroll through Instagram or whatnot. Like, I'm just voicing my opinion. You're here on your own accord. You can leave at any time you want, but if you're sticking around, I appreciate it. You should not be giving out licenses like that. Again, I wish you well. Yeah, there's a lot going on, man. You know, everybody's stressed out. Things are tightening up because everything costs a gazillion dollars. Every day gets dumber when it comes to politics. A lot of people have checked out of that. You know, I tip my hat to that, because it's all theater, in my opinion. It's all a show, and it's just poorly written and poorly executed and run by a bunch of crooks and clowns, and I don't have time for it. So I try to get past that bullshit and figure out what's really going on. And I think for me, that avenue is Twitter, and whether that's good, bad, or in between. But you can kind of weed out the bullshit on there and get to the root of what's happening in the world, because a lot of it's real time. You can see videos and people posting shit about it, and you're like, damn, there's some real atrocities going on, and people don't care, and people aren't worried because they think it'll never happen here. It is a weird time. I would say if you have an iPhone, get rid of that thing. I have an iPhone sitting there looking at me right now. I'd start by getting rid of the iPhone, especially don't get anything after the 17. That's just my opinion. No knock on Apple or anything. That's just my user experience. Man, I got a picture of Frank Sinatra over my right shoulder here. It's crazy how bad the mob got. You think about how the Italians and the mob, the Italian mafia, was portrayed in film and music, books, newspapers, and all that. How they were portrayed, and always the mobsters, always the bad guys. They kept things in order, man. They didn't put up with any shit from you know who, man, and they kept things in line. And this is where the line is, and we're going to enforce it up to there. And if you don't dare cross that line, if you do, you're going to get dealt with. And that's how the mob works. There's nothing wrong with that. Boundaries are fine. If you want a community and a civilized group of people to be living within these boundaries, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. What a gated community is. The HOA. Get that boat inside the garage. Look at it now. There's no mob, and look who's running things, and look how things are just amok, and look who has their fingers in everything right now. Look whose militaries just joined each other. Two foreign nations' militaries just joined each other officially today. Let me say that again. Two world superpowers, their militaries just joined forces today. If you don't think we're an occupied nation, that's what we're dealing with, man. We are... not anything, but there are definitely different realities, at least two realities going on in the United States and throughout the world, and that is, and I don't mean this as hyperbole or anything like that, or one side's cooler, one side's the losers, anything like that. I'm just telling you the reality, the observation that I see, and it's two different realities. People that are on Twitter and people that are not on Twitter. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but people that are on Twitter happen to know what's going on. Like I said, there's a lot of bullshit and a lot of just fucking nonsense I'm going back and forth with some, it's probably a bot, but I am talking shit to this, whoever this person is on the other side of this unidentifiable person on the out there in the ether. I'm arguing with them on Twitter, but you can sift through all that and you can turn things off, and when you like things or mute things, it's building your algorithm, and it puts you in these channels of like real time, I would say, and what's really going on. You can like figure it out a little bit, and I know that sounds dumb, but yes, it's a lot of like rabbit holes, and I mean, and this is where it gets crazy, because people call you conspiracy theorist and you lost your marbles, call you every name under the sun. It doesn't matter. These things can be like verified, and there's videos. We live in a digital world. There's so much evidence and proof and facts and reality. Like, people are being massacred, children, women, innocent people. If they don't kill them, their lives are destroyed, and their livelihood and their homes. It's people, including myself, we didn't ride into the night into the capitals, and we didn't do shit. We're all lazy. I'm including myself in this. We're all lazy. We're all content. A lot of us are all obese, immobile. If it wasn't child and women trafficking and sex trafficking and child trafficking and this and that, the island and all that debauchery, is that how you say that? All of that going on, if that didn't cause a stir in us enough to get up out of our seats and do something about that, and again, I'm including myself in this, I'm embarrassed that, but that's the genius, not the genius of it, that's how wicked it is, that they tightened and got their fingers in every single like angle you could think of to not have any power. They took the power away. It was what, 130-year game that they played, and it's now coming to fruition. I can only speak for myself, but I do not support what's going on in Palestine, in Lebanon, in Syria, in wherever in Iran that's getting bombed and attacked and decimated and ethnically cleansed. I don't support that as a humanitarian viewpoint. I don't support that. I think it, just because geographically or because I'm lucky enough to be born where I am, I don't have to worry about that for the time being. It's not that far away. I mean, you can get from here. I can get up in a few hours and head to the airport, and I can be in Hawaii in like 14 hours probably. It's not that much time to get halfway around the world, like it's not that, these places that these atrocities are happening at is not that far away from us. And then there's things on top of that are happening here that are just spraying the skies, and oh man, the taxes and the fraud and the looting and the waste and the corruption. It's just exhausting if you can follow what's going on, and it's evident what's going on. But again, there's these two realities, and if the people on Twitter that try and talk to the non-Twitter people, it's at a point where it's not happening anymore. And I'm not trying to sound like Twitter is cool or anything. Twitter is the news, because you can get in channels where you're getting the news like not right away, because you can't be on your phone all the time, but you're getting it pretty damn quick. Whereas websites, they were quick, but they took a while to get verified and whatnot, to spin it. Let's be honest there, to narrate it, to opinionate it. But yeah, Twitter, again, you can't have a conversation because it's two different realities, and they do not exist together anymore. And it's frightening. Like, my dad's one of them. My mom's kind of getting on board with it. I'm trying to give her little doses here and there, but it's too much. She thinks her son has lost his damn mind, and I'm like, no, it's not. It's not. The thing is, it's not that. It's crazy, but it's not at the same time. Like it's crazy that they pulled it off and how well they did it. You know, at the same time, it's like, oh yeah, they just kept bread in circuses and dangling the carrot out in front of us, the technology and this and that to keep us squirrel, you know, keep us distracted from what's going on. And next thing you know, we lost it all, including our country. And it's a sad day, at least to me. I'm a little bummed about it, and I don't know can the next president, the next administration come in and undo all this? I don't know. I feel like that's just what it is. Whoever's in there just undoes what the other president just did, comes up with some other wacky shit, signs it in, and says it's like permanent, and then the next guy comes in and just nullifies everything there, and we get even more idiocracy going on in the White House. But so we got all that going on, and it's just crazy. It's hard to exist. Like people at work, I can immediately tell who's in the know and who's not, because everybody's kind of talking about the same like topics on the surface level. You know, everybody kind of knows the buzzwords, but then you mention a few things and people look at you like, what is wrong with you? Like, what? Oh no, here we go again. One of these guys who's into every conspiracy theory. It's like, I'm not into a conspiracy theory, folks. You guys are just being fed up 100% bullshit. It doesn't matter if it's Fox News, CBS, ABC, NBC. It doesn't matter. MSNBC, C-SPAN. It does not matter. They all feed up into the same media companies, and it's like 6 of them now. All these people, they own the media, they own the food, they own the banking, they own, you know, the legal, they own real estate. Yeah. So I don't know where we go from here. I don't know what happens. We still got 2 years left with Trump, and he's just, I can't believe I'm saying the Democrats got to win so they can impeach him and get, but then what happens? Then we get Vance, who just a bozo himself. Like, what's the option? Who in the swamp of the government is gonna be good for anything? Dan Blazarian, he's getting my vote so far. He's the only one that's going against the tide, and I'm supporting what he's saying, but he's not ready to be president. But I don't know who is ready to be president. I'd rather have him at 48 years old in there versus an 80-year-old, and that's not ageism. We're talking about leader of the free world and leading a country and being of sound mind and knowing who to trust and who to put in the right place to make these decisions. You can't run it all, but you gotta trust the people that surround you, right? And I think he could do that. He's not gonna stand down to anything. He's gonna stand up for the country and what he believes in. He's got some good things going on, so I'm with him, but can't insert him. And voting is not gonna get us there. We've seen that umpteen times. We're seeing it daily, like what's going on in California and Massey out in Kentucky, the mail-in ballots again. It's like, dude, how many times do we have to go through this exercise what are we doing? Like, what are we doing? It's beyond evident. It's just it's laughable. It's a slap in the face. It's just charades. But this is the world we live in, man. This is the world we live in. Drewski is hilarious. That's funny shit. That is funny shit. Drewski is one of the funniest humans to ever live, man. This skit, when he did the conservative lady skit, I I was howling at that. But that he just put out a new video of him, like the OG hanging around making making TikTok videos or whatever. That's ridiculous. Drewski. Well done, bro. Well done. Something I was gonna say. So I am not endorsing this at all, and it's very dangerous. So that's why I'm saying I do not endorse this. But I just unintentionally or just pure laziness, forgetfulness, wean myself off of SSRIs. I just forgot to go and get the prescription like a month ago or so, and in that time, I've probably cried like close to 7 or 8 times in the last few weeks. You know what you remember when in the Kentucky Derby and that female trainer won it, first female trainer, Cherie DeVoe or something like that. Have you seen that video that went pretty viral of her cheering on the jockey and the horse as they came down the final stretch there? That, what is it, X83 song in the background, all dramatic and whatnot. It's a pretty cool video, but I watched that and started tearing up. Coming off of those, I was on 100 milligrams sertraline, I think it was. I've laughed the hardest I've laughed in decades, man. There's some funny people out there. And it feels good to laugh and cry, and it just feels like screen is gone. Like the screen from indoors to outdoors is removed, and it feels nice. It feels really nice, and it's just crazy like how I allowed myself to just accept a state of being that really wasn't functioning on all cylinders, I guess I'll put it that way. And how many other people, I know there's a gazillion people out there that are in the same boat. And again, I'm not condoning what I did, but for now it feels very nice, and it's very dangerous. So take it with a grain of salt again, but I'm just telling you about my experience. So far, so good. It feels nice. It feels nice. What is that? The Jimmy V speech where he says there's 3 things you should do every day. You should laugh till it hurts. You should cry. What's the 3rd thing? You should give thanks. Well, I should know that. The Jimmy V speech. Product of the Jimmy V Foundation now. What a wonderful speech that is. He says laugh, cry, and I think give thanks is the other one. I'm going to look it up real quick. Laugh, think, and cry. You should spend some time in thought. That's right. Laugh, think, and cry. Yes, those are 3 very good things. Funny how I feel like no offense, I feel like a woman as far as the emotions go. I'm all over the place. I imagine it just like coming down off of, in a roller coaster or whatever, it's just banging all over the place with these emotions. And I hate roller coasters, but this one seems to be pretty fun so far. Not fun, it just seems refreshing, I should say. Nice change. It's summertime, man. It is summertime, and it's beautiful out, and it's sunny, and it's time to absorb vitamin D, and it's colorful, and things are growing. It's raining hard. Good time to be outside and just breathe it all in, right? Sometimes for me, it's hard to remember that. It's hard to be appreciative, and I think that's where faith comes in. I think that's where grounding yourself and realizing there's bigger, higher power at play here, and died for your sins and allows you to repent. I think there's a higher power going on and working. Sometimes it makes sense, sometimes it doesn't. A lot of the times, if you just follow the scripture, a lot of things line up to that, ironically. Or unironically, I should say. He shows you the way, but it's up to each of us to figure out, do you want to live a Christian life or not? Christian values and Christian faith. And that's up to you to decide and be disciplined. And there's a way to love your way through life. There's a way to be a good Christian, and that will be a fulfilled on every level that'll be a fulfillful life here on earth, and then in the afterlife it'll be better than you can imagine. But I don't know, man. I don't know what's next. Yeah, you're not supposed to know what's next. You're just supposed to be in the present right here. But sometimes it's just hard to. And I'm saying that, as I'm saying that and breathing in and kind of letting my mind go, it's like you're making a YouTube video, idiots. You can be, instead of making a video that 7 people are going to watch, you could be meditating, for 40 minutes. And that'll be very beneficial to you, but no. And that's kind of the underlying theme of what I'm trying to say here in a very unarticulate way is, we've been so distracted and we've become so comfortable and content and all these adjectives for it. And we'd rather make YouTube videos to nobody very arrogantly, or whatever you want to call this, instead of doing maybe what we know is better for us, and whether it's praying or meditating or whatever it is, how you spend your time. There are vices and things to distract you and leads you towards the devil. I believe that wholeheartedly. Again, it comes down to that discipline. Right now, maybe this video is evidence that I don't have the right discipline, and that's something I need to consider. I hadn't thought about that, and maybe that's the silver lining of making this video. I thought I was going to say something profound and something that would resonate with people, and instead trying to influence the outside world. The chi is telling me I've got to recalibrate myself and get back in the groove here myself before I can even think about anything else. I've got to If you haven't tried that, it's a triangle. Up 4 seconds with an inhale, and then you hold it for 7 seconds, and then you breathe out, exhale for 8 seconds. So 4, 7, 8. It's very relaxing, right? Like you repeat that over and over again and close your eyes and just kind of sit there outside. I recommend it very much so. Laying down that's the best time to do it, in my opinion. Finding and just meditating or just letting your mind relax. I'm not going to give away the secrets. I did some transcendental meditation, and I think once I kind of got close to meditating. Did it tons and tons of times, and I need to get back into it. I very much need to get back into meditation. For a point there, I got okay at relaxing my mind and just kind of letting it drift for a little bit. You work your way up, but you try and meditate for a minimum of 15 minutes, at least once a day, if not morning and night. You're supposed to do it for sure, and at any time in between there, but no less than 15 minutes. And it was very good for everything in my body, but it's, of course, especially my mind. But maybe that's what this is, in a roundabout way, that's what comes of this, is more meditation, less YouTube videos. If you enjoyed this, I plan on making a video about if I were president, if I were in charge of things, so to speak. These are the things that I would do. From day one! Boom! If I knew how to make a creative YouTube video or whatever, I would hit play right there, or I would edit it in where Bon Iver's Day One starts playing, because that song, I love that song. That's one of my top 4 songs of all time right there. Day One by Bon Iver, featuring Dijon and Flock of something. But yeah, if I can cue that up, that's gonna be nice. But anyway, that's a beautiful song though. Beautiful, beautiful song. Yeah, I'm gonna make a list if That's what I was talking about. I'm gonna make a list. If I were president, this is what I would do. I'm talking about like making Walmart's 24 hours ago, so people and teenagers can go there and run amok, but like have some fun, but do it respectively. Like don't be idiots. Like we're allowing you in here. Show us that we can trust you a little bit. Yeah, you can do shit. Don't steal anything. Just be kids, right? But don't be dumb. Eating places, bars. Let's open things up again. I would get iridescent lights. Is that how you say that? It can iridescent license. I need to learn how to say that word. I've never known how to say that. But get these LED lights out of my face, man. I want some old school lighting. I got a whole list of things I would do as president. Of course, I've got some important things to do, but these are some of the residual things that I would give to the people. Real things that matter, right? Income tax would go away immediately, day one. Minimum wage would have to come up, but we got to increase people's wages because people are not able to live anymore on quote unquote living wages. It's impossible. It's breaking people, and it's heartbreaking because people are giving most of their living hours, awake hours, to these companies and or for themselves, and they're not able to make a living wage. That's so unbelievably cruel and asinine and inhumane. It's really, really sad. It hurts my heart. It hurts. And it's good to keep that in perspective, right? Because everybody at work, and myself included, were complaining about SharePoint and OneDrive and Copilot usage and security tokens and passwords that have to be 16 digits long, and it's just exhausting. It is exhausting. Everybody is being overworked. We're understaffed, and everything has to be this quick. And if you don't do the right thing one time, or you get questioned about it, and good people are working very hard. They're at a company for a certain reason. That can be a litany of things, but there's certain reasons that people stick with jobs. It's a shame that they are working hard and doing their best and making the company X amount of dollars, and they aren't able to live comfortably or at all. I think that's wrong. And I don't mean that there's a reason for everything and they've got to protect the interests of this and that. Certain companies do, and I get it. But I think there's wiggle room there to pay the people more so that people can live and take a deep breath. It wasn't that long ago where a floor salesman at Sears, selling what have you, men's clothes or men's suit jackets, he was the only breadwinner or wage earner in a household with a wife and 2 kids, 3 kids, and they were able to live in a suburb 2-story house and have a car. Can you imagine doing that today? There's no way. Like, imagine that today. Floor salesman at Von Maur, or Von Maur's not even around anymore, I don't think. Dillard's, or, Macy's, or whatever is in your local mall. Yonkers. Imagine selling men's suit coats in 2026 and having a wife and, let's just say, 2 kids, and you live in suburbia of let's pick a town. Let's pick a little capital town or a city. Let's go with Salina, Kansas. In Salina, Kansas, you're working at the local Dillard's in the men's suits and sport coats department. You're the only one that works in the family. You have a wife and 2 kids, and you live in Salina, Kansas. How? That's impossible in today's age. Impossible. And it's just sad. I'm not saying it has to be quite like that, maybe, but it should be very, very close to that, I think. Wages have not kept up with the cost of living by a long shot. And it's becoming more evident of that every day, as the cost of living and wage earners, as as that gap widens, it becomes more evident, more stressful, and it's breaking more people day in, day out. So anyway, I'll make another video if anybody enjoys listening to my bullshit and me talking here, but I'm going to try and make one here soon if I were president, and I'm going to address it towards Dan Blazarian. Maybe he'll let me be his vice president. We can get the ship pointed in the right direction. It's going to take a lot of work, and it's going to take a lot of creativity and a lot of balls and this and that. But things I would do on day one, if you want to check that out, things I would do as president on day one. That's why I am